Yes. One of it, yeah.
Ken Cox.
1 second, I'm sorry.
Ken Cox, Deputy Chief.
Mind your way here, Ken.
I got it.
You got it?
Got it?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my sad duty to report to you we had a very tragic, sad ending to an Amber Alert. Earlier this evening, we put out an alert for a Christopher Camdenbach, 43 years old, and both of his children, Ethan and Owen, were missing. We had a tragic ending here this evening in Cliff Cave Park. They are all deceased. It's a very tragic event. It started in Franklin County. He had a $100,000 bond put out for his arrest today for domestic violence first. They have been in contact with us and our agency. We've been checking and looking for him. He met with his mother and the children this afternoon. He was saying things like he was going to be taken alive, he was suicide by cop, things like this, to the extent that his mother felt it critical that she call the police. As soon as we got that information, that's what initiated the Amber Alert. Park ranger was closing the park this evening and saw the car that fit the description of the one we were looking for. He notified the police department. The helicopter actually was up and spotted the car and saw somebody moving toward the car. Officers responded down there, and as soon as they got down there, shots rang out. He was apparently shooting his children. They tried to engage him, and it appears that he took his own life. So we're in the very early stages of this. We're still processing the scene and trying to deal with what just happened. Any questions?
Oof, that is obviously horrible, shocking news. Have you been in communication with the family? How are they holding up?
We have, as you can imagine, not well. Not well. I have not seen them or spoke to them myself. I've been down at the scene, but we have detectives with them right now.
What made him snap? I heard from his mother, Christopher's mother, that they had a beautiful day at the park. It was a wonderful day, right. And what went wrong?
You know, nobody's going to know that but him. He's gone.
Kind of where do you go from here in terms of the investigation as you continue? Obviously, I mean, very tragic end, like you just said, but moving forward, where does this go?
It's going to take a long time just to process the scene. The park will not be open tomorrow. We're going to keep it closed until they can do a full investigation, and it's just going to take a while.
What do you know about his history, his past? Obviously, he had the warrant out. Was that the first time he'd done something like this?
You know, I asked for that as soon as I came up. I don't have his whole criminal history. I just know that he had a $100,000 bond out for domestic violence first this evening.
But he was meeting with the mother today despite that bond? I'm not quite
Yes,
sure.
he was with his mother today and the children.
And what did they do today?
They went to a park apparently, and I couldn't tell you which park that was, but they came back at some point, and the mother was very concerned because he took her car and the kids and left. And that's when she contacted us.
So even though he was out on that bond, there was, to your knowledge, any type of restraining order against him for the kids, or
there was an ex parte order for his wife or his estranged wife. Yes.
So just to be clear, I know that according to the Christopher's mother, that the kids were over her house. So the kids were over her house visiting her, and then he happened to show up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and they were all together earlier this evening.
Was he allowed to be around those children?
He was with the children around. He had a warrant out for his arrest, so it's just very sad.
And you said that he was engaged, police engaged in gunshots with him here at the park. So he was killed by police fire?
It appears that he was killed by his own fire, but they did engage him a short time down there. And we're going to have to let the investigation play out there.
How did he obtain that gun? Was it stolen or was it legal?
I have no idea.
So
No idea at this point.
Shots were fired at him. Any idea how many?
Yes, I don't know how many.
Were they attempting to save his children by firing?
It was pitch black down there. Okay. They went down there and shots rang out, and they tried to defend themselves.
So just to be clear, you guys got an initial call around 8 o'clock about shots being fired. When you got here, you guys saw that the kids were shot. Were the kids already dead by the time you guys got here?
That's what it appears. Yeah. It was instantaneous. That's all I got, folks.
Can I ask one last question? I'm sorry, sir. I know that
Sure.
we've been talking about the investigation, but how's this been for you guys out here doing the investigation? This is kind of a different situation from others,
Well, I
correct?
could tell you, unfortunately, I've been to several shootings here recently, and when kids are involved, it's a different story. These officers are very upset, and it's tough.
Message to the community: how do they heal from this? This is horrible.
I'd just like to see it end. This is just terrible, terrible tragedy.
Do you have the mother's name?
I do. I can get that to you in a minute here.